The year 2017 marks the 72nd anniversary of the signing of the UN Charter, a document born out of the suffering of the Second World War and which represents a set of universal values and principles and a shared vision for a better world. This year has been an exciting one for the UN in Zimbabwe.
We have been very busy in 2017 since the last year we mark our UN Day, if we had to start from there.
When Zimbabwe was faced with 2 consecutive years of severe drought from 2015 to 2016, the United Nations answered the country's call for assistance. Thanks to the government and UN response, which brought together generous contributions from donors and development partners, the active participation of civil society, and the resilience of the communities themselves, Zimbabwe has now emerged from the drought. Thanks to these concerted efforts, the country's focus in 2017 has been rebalanced to medium to long-term development in line with the SDGs. The UN is following suit.
True to the United Nations Charter, we are very honored, the UN system in Zimbabwe, for the great partnership we have with the government of Zimbabwe in terms of enhancing our cooperation and contributing the socio-economic development and supporting Zimbabwe's progress in many areas.
The UN has identified 6 areas of priority in the context of this cooperation. To improve food and nutrition security, the UN is supporting government policies and programs on agricultural growth, forestry and fisheries management, and more effective use of land resources. In 2017, UN field programs focused on agricultural production and competitiveness and the reduction of malnutrition. The UN also provided food assistance and worked towards building resilience through climate-smart agriculture.
Agricultural productivity in Zimbabwe seemed to be one of the lowest in the region, given the educated manpower, the productivity and the experience Zimbabwe has. So therefore, this should be a low-hanging fruit for Zimbabwe to improve soon.
Through the ZUNDAF, the UN has complemented national efforts to enhance the provision of social services, health, education, water and sanitation, and social protection. Together with the Global Fund to fight AIDS, tuberculosis and malaria and other partners, the UN is supporting national programs to combat new HIV infections through education and prevention, while providing treatment, care and support to over 1 million people living with the virus. Efforts are ongoing to promote gender equality by addressing the fundamental problems that underlie the position of women in Zimbabwean society. The UN and development partners have also intensified advocacy and program support to end gender-based violence and child marriages. To enhance community preparedness to the effects of climate change, resilience programs have been rolled out supporting close to 500,000 people across the country. Our skills development programs reached over 8,000 young people and are nurturing a productive, competitive labor force. The UN continues to support strengthening of citizen participation in the democratic process and the promotion of human rights. The United Nations remains committed to support Zimbabwe to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals under the overall guiding principle of leave no one behind.
It's been a busy year, but it's been a satisfying year. And I have to say this attribute goes to great work of our team. We are about 150 or so international staff and over 800 national staff. So I want to thank all of them for the great work. I also want to thank the partners, the cross ministries, the leadership, the ministers, Office of the President, Chief Secretaries, the deputies, and the civil societies for all the great work, and of course the development partners who have entrusted and engaged UN and have provided resources for UN to do our job.
Going forward, the United Nations Development System in Zimbabwe calls on its partners and allies to stay the course and redouble efforts for a prosperous and sustainable Zimbabwe.